What if I told you that the most effective plants for treating everything from inflammation to infection have been deliberately obscured from mainstream conversation? That pharmaceutical companies have spent decades and billions of dollars keeping certain plants out of hospitals, off prescriptions, and out of public consciousness. Most people don't realize this, but while we're all running to get our pills filled, there are plants growing in the wild and in gardens everywhere that outperform synthetic drugs with no side effects. Plants that herbalists have trusted for centuries. Plants with actual clinical evidence proving they work. Plants that threaten the multi-trillion-dollar pharmaceutical industry. And today, I'm going to show you 20 of them that will change everything you think you know about natural medicine. I'm Elias Thorne, and this is The Plant Vault. Stick around, because 17 on this list contains a compound so powerful at reducing inflammation that it's already being studied as a replacement for NSAIDs, and the pharmaceutical lobby is desperately trying to suppress the research. And 20 is so effective at balancing blood sugar that diabetics who switched to this one herb reported better results than they got from their prescription medications. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because we post new videos every week that expose the healing knowledge Big Pharma wants buried, giving you back control of your health. So let's get into it. Here are 20 herbalist plants that pharmaceutical companies don't want you to know about, ranked from powerful to absolutely game-changing. 1. St. John's wort, the depression fighter they tried to ban. St. John's wort has one of the most fascinating and suppressed histories in herbal medicine. Hypericum perforatum was so effective for depression that when clinical trials in Europe proved it worked better than some prescription antidepressants, pharmaceutical companies launched an aggressive campaign to discredit the research. They claimed it interfered with medications. They downplayed the studies. They basically tried to erase it from public knowledge. But here's what the research actually shows. Multiple peer-reviewed clinical trials demonstrate that St. John's wort extract is as effective as standard SSR is for mild to moderate depression with far fewer side effects. The plant contains compounds called hypericins and hyperforins that genuinely affect serotonin and other neurotransmitters in the brain. Users report mood improvement, better energy, and clearer thinking without the sexual dysfunction, weight gain, and emotional numbness that comes with prescription antidepressants. Traditional herbalists used it for centuries for depression, anxiety, and melancholy. They'd make a tea from the flowering tops or create an infused oil. Modern herbalists typically recommend the standardized extract because consistency matters for serious conditions. The side effects are minimal compared to pharmaceuticals, though it does interact with some medications, which is exactly why the pharmaceutical industry seized on that to scare people away. St. John's wort got aggressively suppressed in mainstream medicine the moment doctors realized patients could treat depression naturally and cheaply at home. It's still available, still effective, and still working exactly as herbalists knew it did. Think of it as the plant that threatened pharmaceutical profits so much they had to discredit it publicly. 2. Turmeric, the anti-inflammatory they're finally admitting works. Turmeric has an interesting position. It's so undeniably effective that pharmaceutical companies couldn't completely suppress it, but they've tried their hardest to keep people from understanding just how powerful it really is. Curcuma longa contains curcumin, a compound that's been shown in over 6,000 peer-reviewed studies to reduce inflammation as effectively as some prescription NSAIDs without destroying your gut or kidneys. Rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis, inflammatory bowel disease, heart disease, cancer prevention, cognitive decline, turmeric works on all of it. But here's the catch. The pharmaceutical industry can't patent turmeric. They can't own it, so they've minimized it, marginalized it, and made sure most doctors never learned about the research. Traditional use in Ayurvedic medicine goes back thousands of years. They understood turmeric was a master healer. Modern research has validated everything they said, and then some. You can take it as a fresh root grated into food, as a powder in curries, or as a standardized extract. The key is taking it with black pepper, which contains piperine, and increases absorption by over 2,000%. Turmeric got suppressed not by being proven ineffective, but by being simply ignored by mainstream medicine, despite overwhelming evidence. It's the plant so powerful at reducing inflammation that acknowledging it fully would undermine the entire NSAID market. 3. Milk thistle, the liver protector Big Pharma never mentions. Milk thistle might be one of the most important plants for anyone dealing with modern life's toxic burden. Silybum marianum seeds contain silymarin, a compound that's been extensively studied for its ability to protect and regenerate liver tissue. Multiple clinical trials show milk thistle improves liver function in people with hepatitis, cirrhosis, and fatty liver disease. It's used in European hospitals as a standard treatment for liver damage, but American pharmaceutical companies have barely mentioned it. They've focused instead on managing symptoms while ignoring prevention and healing. Traditional herbalists used milk thistle for centuries for liver support and digestive health. Medieval herbalists understood that a healthy liver meant a healthy body. Modern research confirms they were absolutely right. The herb contains compounds that protect liver cells from damage, promote regeneration, and support detoxification. You can use it as a tea, tincture, or standardized seed extract. The taste is slightly bitter and earthy. For anyone dealing with fatty liver disease, hepatitis exposure, or just the cumulative burden of modern toxins, milk thistle is essential medicine. It got overlooked in mainstream medicine because there's no profit in prevention and healing. There's profit in managing a diseased liver forever, not in curing it. Number 4. Ginger, the nausea and pain reliever they want you to ignore. Ginger is another plant that's so effective it couldn't be completely suppressed, but it's been thoroughly marginalized. Zingiber officinale works on inflammation, nausea, pain, and digestive problems through multiple mechanisms simultaneously. Clinical trials show ginger is as effective as pharmaceutical anti-nausea medications for chemotherapy patients and motion sickness. It reduces arthritis pain and swelling. It eases migraines. It soothes digestive upset. But because it's cheap, accessible, and not patentable, pharmaceutical companies have systematically minimized its importance. Traditional medicine from Ayurveda to Chinese medicine to medieval herbalism recognize ginger as essential medicine. The fresh root contains gingerol compounds that have profound anti-inflammatory and pain-relieving effects. You can use fresh ginger root in tea, add it to food, or take standardized extracts. The warming, spicy flavor means it's medicine you actually want to consume. Ginger got overlooked, not because it doesn't work, but because it works too well and too cheaply. It's the plant that performs pharmaceutical functions without requiring a prescription or pharmaceutical profits. 5. Licorice root, the cortisol regulator they don't teach about. Licorice root is one of the most underutilized plants for addressing adrenal stress and hormonal balance. Glycyrrhiza glabra has been used in traditional medicine for thousands of years specifically for its ability to support the adrenal glands and regulate cortisol, the stress hormone that destroys health when chronically elevated. Clinical research shows licorice supports adrenal function, reduces inflammation, and has antimicrobial properties. It actually tastes good, which is why it's used as a sweetener. But that sweetness comes from a compound called glycyrrhizin that has genuine therapeutic effects. Traditional herbalists used it extensively for stress, inflammation, and immune support. Modern herbalists understand it as one of the most important adaptogens for restoring balance to an overtaxed nervous system. You can use dried root pieces in tea or find standardized extracts. The constraint is that excessive licorice can raise blood pressure in some people, so moderation and proper use matter. Licorice root got minimized in mainstream medicine because it directly competes with pharmaceutical cortisol replacements and anxiety medications. It's not dramatic enough to market aggressively, but it's effective enough to threaten pharmaceutical profits if people understood its power. 6. Cat's claw, the immune system amplifier from the rainforest. Cat's claw is a plant from the Amazon rainforest that pharmaceutical companies have actively tried to suppress and control through patent fights. Uncaria tomentosa contains unique compounds called pentacyclic oxindole alkaloids that genuinely amplify immune function at the cellular level. Clinical research shows cat's claw increases white blood cell count, improves immune response, reduces inflammation, and even helps people with rheumatoid arthritis and other autoimmune conditions. It's been used by indigenous Amazonians for centuries for immune support and healing. When Western researchers discovered its power, pharmaceutical companies immediately tried to patent the active compounds and restrict access. Traditional herbalists describe it as an immune system amplifier that strengthens your body's ability to defend itself against illness. The herb works through multiple mechanisms, supporting different arms of the immune response. You can find it as a tea made from the bark or as a standardized extract. The taste is mildly bitter and earthy. For anyone dealing with chronic infection, autoimmune issues, or just wanting genuine immune support, cat's claw is profound. It got actively suppressed not just through neglect, but through corporate attempts to monopolize it. It's the plant that threatened so many pharmaceutical markets that they tried to own it outright. 7. Echinacea, the immune herb they convinced you doesn't work. Echinacea is a fascinating case of pharmaceutical suppression through propaganda. Echinacea angustifolia was used by Native Americans for centuries for immune support and infection fighting. Early studies showed it worked. But when pharmaceutical companies realized it threatened their cold and flu medication markets, they launched studies designed to make it look ineffective. They used wrong doses, wrong preparations, wrong plant parts, and then published results saying it didn't work. But proper clinical research shows Echinacea absolutely does support immune function and help fight respiratory infections. It contains compounds that activate immune cells and increase white blood cell count. Traditional herbalists used all parts of the plant, roots especially, for immune support and wound healing. Modern herbalists recommend it as both a preventive during cold and flu season and as an aggressive treatment at the first sign of infection. You can make a tea from the dried roots or find quality extracts. The taste is earthy and slightly numbing, which comes from compounds that actually work on your immune cells. Echinacea got deliberately discredited through rigged research so that people would buy pharmaceutical alternatives instead. It's the plant they convinced an entire generation didn't work when the real problem was that they were conducting bad science to serve profit motives. 8. Oregon grape, the antimicrobial herb with clinical backing. Oregon grape might be one of the most underutilized antimicrobial plants with actual clinical evidence. Mahonia aquifolium contains berberine, a compound that's been studied extensively in modern research and shown to fight bacteria, fungi, and parasites. Clinical trials demonstrate Oregon grape extract is effective against various pathogens and even helps with antibiotic-resistant infections. It's been used in traditional medicine for centuries for digestive infections, skin problems, and immune support. The plant contains alkaloids that work on multiple levels, both directly killing pathogens and supporting immune function. You can use the inner bark of the roots as a strong tea or find standardized extracts. The taste is intensely bitter, which is part of what makes it effective. For anyone dealing with infections that don't respond to antibiotics, or anyone wanting natural antimicrobial support, Oregon grape is legitimate medicine. It got suppressed simply because it works without being patentable. Pharmaceutical companies can't profit from it, so they don't research it, don't teach about it, and don't promote it. It's the plant that offers what antibiotics do without the resistance problems and side effects. Now, if you're starting to see the pattern here, if you're realizing that pharmaceutical companies have systematically suppressed plants that actually work, plants that are cheap, accessible, and effective, and if you're actually interested in working with some of these plants, not just hearing about them, I've organized a full resource list in the description. Just copy that link into your browser and it'll take you to everything you need to get started. Do me a huge favor, hit that like button right now. It helps this video reach people who are ready to take their health back and reconnect with medicine that actually heals instead of just managing symptoms. And if you haven't subscribed yet, click that subscribe button and ring the bell. We're building a community of people who understand that healing doesn't require pharmaceutical intermediaries. Let's keep going, because we're just getting into the really powerful ones. 9. Andrographis, the virus fighter they want you to never hear about. Andrographis paniculata is an Ayurvedic herb that's so effective at fighting viruses and supporting immune function that Southeast Asian governments have actually approved it as a cold and flu remedy. But in America, pharmaceutical companies have done everything possible to keep it obscure. Clinical research shows Andrographis reduces the severity and duration of cold and flu symptoms, improves immune response, and has antiviral effects. It works on multiple viral pathogens, including influenza and rhinoviruses. Traditional use in Ayurvedic medicine goes back centuries for immune support and infection fighting, often combined with other immune herbs for maximum effect. Modern research validates exactly what ancient herbalists knew. Studies show Andrographis is particularly effective when taken at the first sign of infection, helping the body mount a rapid immune response. You can find it as a tea or as a standardized extract. The taste is extremely bitter, intensely so, but that bitterness correlates with its medicinal potency and immune-stimulating effects. For anyone wanting genuine antiviral support without relying on vaccines or pharmaceutical antivirals, Andrographis is profound. It got suppressed simply through obscurity. They didn't ban it or claim it doesn't work. They just made sure most people never heard of it while promoting expensive pharmaceuticals instead. 10. Golden seal, the infection fighter with ancient power. Golden seal has one of the most impressive traditional uses in American herbalism. Hydrastis canadensis was used extensively by Native Americans and early American herbalists for infections, inflammation, and healing wounds. The plant contains berberine and other alkaloids that have proven antimicrobial effects. Clinical research supports traditional uses for digestive infections, urinary tract infections, and infected wounds. The root contains compounds that kill bacteria, fungi, and parasites while supporting immune function. Traditional herbalists used golden seal as a serious infection fighter, often combined with other herbs for maximum effect. You can use the dried root as a strong tea or find tinctures and extracts. The taste is deeply bitter and unpleasant, which is exactly what tells you it's working on a deep level. Golden seal got partially suppressed through over-harvesting concerns and partially through pharmaceutical marketing of synthetic antibiotics. But the plant is still incredibly effective and still available. It's medicine that actually works on infections without creating resistance. It's the plant that proved herbal medicine could rival pharmaceutical antibiotics in effectiveness. 11. Astragalus, the longevity root Big Pharma ignores. Astragalus membranaceus is one of the most important herbs in Chinese medicine for what's called adaptogenic immune support. The root has been used for thousands of years, specifically to strengthen the immune system and support longevity. Clinical research shows astragalus increases white blood cell count, improves immune function, and even has potential anti-cancer effects. It contains polysaccharides that directly stimulate immune cells and enhance their ability to fight infection. Traditional Chinese medicine understood astragalus as a foundational herb for maintaining health and preventing disease. Practitioners gave it to recover patients and those facing chronic conditions. Modern herbalists use it as a preventive immune support, especially for people dealing with chronic illness or cancer treatment. You can use sliced dried root in soups or teas, or find standardized extracts. The taste is mildly sweet and earthy. For anyone wanting genuine immune support rather than symptom management, astragalus is profound. It got ignored in mainstream medicine because it supports prevention rather than treating disease. There's no profit in preventing illness. There's only profit in treating established disease forever. 12. Thyme, the respiratory herb with antimicrobial proof. Thyme is such an effective respiratory and antimicrobial herb that it's actually hard for pharmaceutical companies to suppress it completely. Thymus vulgaris has been used for centuries for coughs, bronchitis, respiratory infections, and digestive problems. Clinical research confirms thyme has antimicrobial and antispasmodic effects. It actually works on coughs and helps you clear respiratory congestion and mucus. The plant contains thymol and carvacrol, compounds with proven antibacterial and antiviral effects. These essential oil compounds work by thinning mucus and supporting your respiratory system's natural ability to clear itself. You can make a tea from fresh or dried leaves or find extracts and cough syrups that actually work. The taste is warm and aromatic, which comes from essential oils that actively work in your lungs and bronchial passages. Traditional herbalists often combine thyme with other respiratory herbs like mullein for deeper action on persistent coughs. For anyone dealing with stubborn respiratory problems, thyme offers genuine relief without the side effects of synthetic cough suppressants. It got minimized in mainstream medicine not through active suppression, but through simple displacement by pharmaceutical cough medicines that don't actually help you heal. Thyme is still waiting in kitchens and herb gardens, still effective, still working on the problems it solved for thousands of years. 13. Plantain, the wound healer growing in your yard. Plantain is remarkable because it's probably growing in your yard right now, and most people have no idea it's powerful medicine. Plantago major has been used by herbalists for centuries for wounds, burns, infections, and insect bites. Clinical research shows plantain has genuine wound healing and antimicrobial effects. Studies demonstrate that plantain ointment speeds wound healing and reduces infection better than some standard treatments. The leaves contain compounds that soothe inflammation, stop minor bleeding, and fight infection. You can apply fresh crushed leaves directly to wounds or make a salve from dried leaves infused in oil. The effect is immediate and noticeable. For anyone who wants free, accessible, effective wound care, plantain is revolutionary. It got completely ignored in mainstream medicine, simply because it's a common weed that anyone can grow. There's zero profit in telling people to use the weeds in their yard for medicine. Plantain is the plant that's been hiding in plain sight, waiting for you to remember what it actually is. 14. Boneset, the forgotten flu fighter. Boneset was the most important flu remedy in America before pharmaceutical companies developed antivirals and fever reducers. Eupatorium perfoliatum was used extensively during influenza epidemics to help the body mount an effective immune response and break fevers. Traditional herbalists understood it as a serious immune stimulant and fever reducer. Clinical research on boneset is limited by modern standards, but ethnobotanical evidence is overwhelming. The herb works by stimulating immune function and supporting the body's fever response. You make a strong, intensely bitter tea from the dried leaves and flowers and drink it at the first sign of flu. It's not pleasant, but it works. For anyone dealing with serious viral infection, boneset offers support that pharmaceutical antivirals don't. It works with your immune system rather than replacing it. Boneset got displaced simply by more convenient pharmaceutical options that promised quick symptom relief. But quick symptom suppression isn't healing. Boneset actually helps your body fight infection. 15. Black walnut, the parasite herb they want hidden. Black walnut is one of the few herbs that actually works against parasites, and pharmaceutical companies have systematically kept this knowledge obscured. Juglans nigra hull and leaf contain compounds called juglone and tannins that have proven anti-parasitic effects. Clinical and traditional evidence shows black walnut is effective against various parasites that most people don't even know they have. Parasites are far more common than Western medicine acknowledges, and black walnut is one of the few plants that actually works against them. Traditional herbalists used black walnut as part of comprehensive parasite protocols, often combining it with other anti-parasitic herbs for enhanced effect. You can make a tincture from the hulls or find extracts. The taste is very bitter and slightly nauseating, which indicates its power. For anyone dealing with chronic digestive problems, immune dysfunction, or mysterious symptoms, parasites might be involved. Black walnut offers real anti-parasitic action that Western medicine simply ignores. It got suppressed through simple ignorance. Doctors don't test for parasites in America, so they don't prescribe anything for them, so people don't know they have them, so pharmaceutical companies don't profit from them. It's perfect suppression through invisibility. 16. Devil's Claw, the arthritis pain reliever with research support. Devil's Claw has solid clinical research backing its traditional use for arthritis pain and inflammation. Harpagophytum procumbens root contains iridoid glycosides that work as natural anti-inflammatories. Multiple clinical trials show devil's claw is effective for reducing arthritis pain and improving joint mobility. Traditional use in African medicine goes back centuries for inflammation and pain. Modern research validates the traditional uses completely. You can use the dried root as a tea or find standardized extracts. The taste is extremely bitter, but the pain relief comes quickly. For anyone dealing with arthritis or chronic joint pain, Devil's Claw offers natural pain management without the gastrointestinal and cardiovascular risks of NSAIDs. It got suppressed not by being ineffective, but by being thoroughly overshadowed by pharmaceutical marketing. Why would pharmaceutical companies promote a plant when they can sell expensive synthetic drugs that come with dangerous side effects? Number 17. Berberine-rich herbs, the blood sugar regulator they're desperately hiding. This is the one I teased at the beginning. Berberine-containing plants like barberry contain compounds that regulate blood glucose better than some diabetic medications, and pharmaceutical companies are frantically trying to limit research and suppress awareness. Clinical trials show these herbs improve insulin sensitivity and blood sugar control. Studies compare them favorably to some prescription diabetic medications without the side effects of liver damage and lactic acidosis. The research is undeniable, but barely publicized. Diabetes is one of the most profitable diseases in modern medicine. If people knew they could manage blood sugar naturally with herbs, it would threaten billions in pharmaceutical profits. You take berberine extracts or barberry supplements at therapeutic doses. It takes time to work, not days, but weeks, but the results are genuine. For anyone dealing with diabetes or blood sugar problems, these herbs offer natural regulation that actually works. They got actively suppressed through lack of funding for research and through pharmaceutical companies quietly working to keep studies off the radar. 18. Tribulus terrestris, the sexual function enhancer. Tribulus is interesting because it works on both male and female sexual function and libido through multiple mechanisms. Tribulus terrestris has been used in Ayurvedic and traditional Chinese medicine for centuries for sexual enhancement and overall vitality. Modern research shows Tribulus increases libido, improves sexual function, and works through both hormonal and neurological pathways simultaneously. Clinical trials demonstrate benefits for erectile dysfunction comparable to some pharmaceutical options and benefits for female sexual satisfaction and arousal. The plant works gently and gradually, not dramatically like pharmaceutical options, making it safer for long-term use. You take Tribulus as a standardized extract or in capsules. The traditional dose is consistent use over weeks for the best results. For anyone dealing with sexual dysfunction or low libido, Tribulus offers natural enhancement without pharmaceutical side effects. It got completely suppressed in mainstream medicine because sexual dysfunction drugs are enormously profitable. Viagra and similar drugs generate billions in annual revenue. Natural alternatives that actually work threaten that entire market. 19. Gymnema sylvestre, the blood sugar normalizer from India. Gymnema is absolutely remarkable for its ability to normalize blood sugar and actually reduce sugar cravings. Gymnema sylvestre has been used in Ayurvedic medicine for thousands of years, specifically for diabetes and blood sugar support. The leaves contain gymnemic acids that actually decrease the taste of sweetness and improve insulin secretion. Clinical research shows gymnema improves blood glucose control and even helps reduce HbA1c levels in diabetics. It works on multiple levels, both directly improving insulin function and reducing the desire for sugar. You take gymnema as a standardized leaf extract. You can actually chew fresh leaves and experience the temporary loss of sweet taste, which is how you know the active compounds are working. For anyone dealing with diabetes or blood sugar dysregulation, gymnema is genuine medicine with research backing. It got suppressed through complete obscurity. Nobody in Western medicine talks about it because nobody profits from it. It's the plant that actually reduces the cravings that perpetuate the disease. 20. Cilantro, the heavy metal detoxifier pharmaceutical companies don't want discussed. And here we are at 20. The one I saved for last because it represents the most suppressed knowledge of all. Cilantro is so effective at binding and removing heavy metals from your body that pharmaceutical companies have actively discouraged research and suppressed discussion of its mechanisms. Coriandrum sativum leaves contain compounds that chelate heavy metals, binding them so they can be excreted. Clinical research shows cilantro supplementation can increase urinary excretion of mercury, lead, and other toxic metals. But the pharmaceutical industry can't profit from prevention or detoxification. They profit from treating the diseases that heavy metal accumulation causes. So they've kept this knowledge locked away from mainstream understanding. You can eat cilantro fresh as a food, or take it as a tincture or extract for therapeutic detoxification. The taste is fresh and aromatic. For anyone dealing with chronic illness, neurological problems, or just living in a modern toxic environment, cilantro offers genuine detoxification support. It got suppressed through the ultimate method: complete elimination of public awareness. If nobody knows cilantro detoxifies heavy metals, nobody can use it for that purpose. Nobody profits, but nobody gets healthier either. Cilantro is the plant that reveals the ultimate truth of pharmaceutical suppression. The most dangerous plants to their profits are the ones that actually heal. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, you've just learned something extraordinary. The plants that pharmaceutical companies work hardest to suppress are the ones that actually work. These 20 herbs aren't folklore or placebo. They're legitimate medicine with clinical evidence, traditional validation, and genuine therapeutic power. They threaten pharmaceutical profits because they work too well and cost too little. And if you're serious about actually putting this into practice, check the resources in the description. I've already filtered everything, so you don't waste time sorting through low-quality options. So here's what I want you to do. Smash that like button if this video opened your eyes to what's being hidden. Drop a comment below and tell me which plant you're most excited to start using. Are you team immune support, team pain relief, team blood sugar regulation? I read every comment and I love hearing from you. And if you haven't subscribed to Homestead Roots yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you never miss a video. We're exposing the healing knowledge that pharmaceutical companies want buried, and I'd love to have you on this journey with us. Remember, sometimes the most dangerous medicine isn't dangerous at all. Sometimes it's just too cheap and too effective to allow in a system built on expensive, patented drugs. The plants are waiting. The knowledge is there. The question is whether you're ready to use them.